welcome to Cook It with Tim, and my name is Tim Clowers, and today we're going to be making a pumpkin ravioli. Let's get right into cooking this dish. So we only need 4 ingredients to make homemade pasta. So we got some flour, just a tad of salt, we've got eggs, egg yolks, and pumpkin. All right, first step is to get 6 cups of flour, and we're going to put this on our counter. And we're going to do the well method. And so what you want to do is use your fingers and make a well right in the middle. It's kind of like a well and a volcano at the same time. I always love that. All right, now what we're going to take is our 3 eggs with the whites. Then we're going to take our 6 egg yolks. Just a tad bit of salt right in there, just like that. Then we're going to take 3/4 cup of pumpkin. Because remember, it's a pumpkin ravioli. The next step is we want to scramble those eggs, so to speak, or mix them. All right. And then within that, you want to mix in the pumpkin with the eggs and that little bit of salt. All right, then you can see right here that ingredients are almost incorporated, so we're about ready to start caving in the side walls. So what you want to do is get your fork and then a little bit by little bit start pulling in some of the flour and just mix. It's a really simple process. Hopefully I don't make things look too complicated. Just keep going to incorporate all of that filling with the flour. Then you're going to reach a point to where you're going to have to start using your hands and getting a little bit dirty. A bench scraper is a really good tool to have, by the way, whenever you're making homemade pasta. All right, the next phase is just use your hands, and you're just going to just kind of start pressing the eggs, the pumpkin, just like that. And we'll start backing away the flour just so that we can know how much flour we're going to need when this comes together. Let's look at that. So it's turning this unique color, as you can see. So I definitely need a little bit more flour. All right, and then you're just going to knead until it comes together. You're not going to knead it like bread dough or pizza dough. That's what it looks like so far, but we want to get this coming together a little bit better to make sure that we've incorporated all of the pumpkin with the appropriate amount of flour. And what I like to do is just keep rolling it around the sides, and we're not looking to knead this, like I said, just like a bread or pizza. That's where you can use your scraper. You need a little bit more flour. So the dough has come together. For good luck, I guess. And then we're going to take some plastic wrap and stick it in some plastic wrap. Get it all nice and cozy and cuddly. And we're going to let that dough rest for about a half hour. Now it's time to make the filling for the ravioli, the exciting part. Let's move on to the next step, which is the filling. So it's basically 4 ingredients, and then we're going to put 2 cheeses in it once we get the spinach cooked. So we're going to start off with some spinach, and the next thing that we're going to use is a diced shallot, or we're going to dice up the shallot. And then we're going to use just some extra virgin olive oil to cook the spinach in. And then the last thing is minced garlic. It's garlic that I pre-mince in a food processor with extra virgin olive oil. All right, let's chop up the shallots. So cut the end off the shallot, and then we're going to slice it in half. And the reason that I use shallots are 2 main reasons. When I want to put it in something to flavor it, for example, this is going to be a filling for a ravioli, and it's going to flavor it, and we're going to cook this down pretty good. And the second reason that I like to use shallots is to flavor sauces. So let's go ahead and dice up that shallot. So we're going to run a knife long ways on it, just like that. And then we're simply just going to dice the shallot. All right, first thing we're going to do is get some medium heat going. 12-inch hex-clad skillet. Pan is heated up, and we're going to put some extra virgin olive oil in our pan. Then we're going to take those shallots. Just going to cook those down for about 2 minutes over medium heat. All right, the next step, we're going to take some minced garlic. Just slowly incorporate the garlic so that you don't burn it. Go ahead and add a little bit more extra virgin olive oil. Now, just because I'm a little bit extra, we're gonna take a little bit of butter for additional flavor. Now you can see it's starting to turn a little bit brown. We're gonna go ahead and add our spinach in. And you just wanna cook this down till it's wilted state because it's gonna go inside of the ravioli, remember that. All right, we've got the spinach. You can see it's all nice and wilted, cooked just the way that I want it to. Place it on my cutting board just like this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get my knife and I'm just gonna give this a rough chop. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I wanna make sure that it'll fit within the ravioli, all that flavor. And we're gonna take a little bit of salt and we're gonna flavor that spinach. Mixing bowl, place that spinach right in there. We're gonna let that cool. All right, let's move to the next step. We're gonna take some ricotta cheese, fresh ricotta. Then we're gonna take one of my favorite cheeses of all time, Parmigiano Reggiano. Grate it right on top of the other ingredients. The Parmigiano Reggiano is going to do to the spinach, garlic, salt, and the ricotta cheese. It's gonna add that really good umami flavor. Let's add in our next two ingredients for flavor. Nutmeg. Yes, I said a cookie spice. We're gonna do about a half a teaspoon. Just remember that stuff can be a little bit potent. Then some black pepper. Mix together. Okay, the dough's been resting for a good 30 minutes. First thing I'm gonna do is just take a little bit of bench flour, put it on my counter, and we can't run the whole thing through the pasta maker. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just simply gonna cut this into pieces that we can run through the pasta maker. All right, we're gonna start with some bench flour. Right here, then we've got our pieces cut, and we're just gonna use our hands. We're gonna press out that dough a little bit. And what I'm looking to do here is to remove the stickiness off of this dough. That's what I'm trying to accomplish. All right, then the next step is I'm just gonna take my rolling pin, just gonna roll this out, and we're gonna get this to a place where we can get it through our pasta maker. A little bit more bench flour. Both sides. Turn this on. All right, and there's our first piece of pasta, and we're gonna run it through right here on the thickest setting. Looks beautiful. Just another coat of flour just to make sure. Then we're gonna do a fold over and a fold in. All right, let's do a couple more passes through the machine. Change the setting. We're gonna make it a little bit smaller. Make sure the pasta's coated good with flour. Let's do another pass. Change the setting. Gonna go to a little thinner one. And how do you know that you've got the pasta at the right thickness? You should be able to see your hands through it. So we're not quite there. Let's go through one more time. So we've got our pasta made. So I went ahead, I made one and I made two. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start filling this one, and then we're gonna put this one on top of here. All right, we're gonna go ahead and take some of our filling, just like so. We're gonna place that right there. A really good guide is if you'll put the ravioli maker over, and you'll see where it's gonna land so that you got clear spacing when this is smashed, so that when you put it over here, you've got plenty of space, just like that. Take that long pasta sheet, and we're just gonna set it down right on top. Looks like I might have a little experience in that. That did okay. Make sure that you know where your breaks are. And then you're just gonna use your little handy dandy ravioli cutter and just go right on top and press. The best way to make sure that you know is you pull while it's pressed down. There we have our ravioli. Okay, let's do some more. Just gonna go straight down. Press all the way through, pull. The second one's usually always a lot prettier. One last little step of what I like to do is I just like to make sure that I press on the inside of those jagged edges. Just to form it, make it look pretty, just like so. All right, the next step is we're going to add butter to our pan, and then we're gonna add the shallots, and we're gonna cook those down. So get a little bit of butter. Butter's melted, now I'm gonna go down with the shallots. Butter, shallots, we're about 2 minutes in. You can see it's starting to brown a little bit. Now it's time to take white wine. We're gonna let the white wine and the shallots reduce together, and then we're gonna add in the cream and a little bit of pumpkin, then we're gonna boil the ravioli. All right, that's been going for about 5 minutes, and you can see most of the white wine has been reduced. For flavor, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some of that pumpkin right there. Then stir that to incorporate the pumpkin into the butter, the white wine, and the shallots. Take some sea salt, heavy cream. We're gonna let this come to a boil, then I'm gonna simmer it for just a couple of minutes, and then it's time to plate the ravioli. Next step is we're going to put some salt in our pasta water. So it is boiling, and this right here came from a friend of mine. He lives in Mexico, and he literally bought me like a 20-pound bag of salt from the Pacific Ocean right off the coast of Mexico. So I'm gonna take a big handful of that right in our pasta water. We're gonna stir it to incorporate the salt. The boiling of the water is what agitates the salt so that it can dissolve. All right, let's go ahead. It's still boiling. We're gonna get that ravioli down in the water. Look how pretty my ravioli looks. All right, let's set them in there. Now the sauce has come to a boil, so we're just gonna lower the heat. And we're just gonna simmer that. All right, let's give that sauce a try. Oh, that's good. Woo, look at those raviolis. Boy, those things look beautiful. So look at that. Ravioli's done, so let's take a little bit of that pasta water that's flavored. Dump it right into that sauce, baby. Let's go ahead and get that water draining off. We've got our bowl, we're ready to plate. Let's go ahead and take some of that pumpkin white wine cream sauce. That's gonna be our base. All right, let's get that ravioli right in there. All right, and then we're gonna drizzle some more of that sauce right on top. Then the last step, we're gonna take a little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano. Gonna go right on top. I just want you guys to take a look at that, how amazing that looks. Now let's see how this turned out, if it's good or not, which, I mean, how could it be bad? Oh man, do I even need to make any comments? I had to put the whole thing in my mouth. So right off the bat, you get that amazing fresh made pasta flavor. You get a subtle kiss of the pumpkin. You get that spinach, the garlic, the nutmeg, the cheese mixture. That is probably without a doubt one of the finest pasta or ravioli dishes that I think I've ever made. That is literally fantastic. So I have a willing participant. This is Day. I love this little girl. She's awesome. Well, she ain't a little girl anymore. She's gonna try the pumpkin ravioli. We're gonna see if we can get a good response out of her. Nope.
No, that's good.
She'll go back for more.
She going back for more. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Holy smokes. She's tearing that up. That's good stuff, apparently. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Thanks for watching, you guys. From me and Day to you, don't forget to subscribe.